First, I thought that was a War shirt, but that's a hairy
man. He's got more
right?
comments on that shirt. We've only been with him in an hour.
I bought it 2 hours ago.
Well, that's like if you cover the T, it says Gwar.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
that's sick. Sick band.
Gore alum.
Yeah,
Gore.
That's great.
Hot minute since I heard them guys.
I saw them live once. It was incredible. It was so good. Yeah, it was so good. All right, you guys want to dive in?
Let's do it.
All right, sweet.
Just get wet.
This might be a huge regret.
Nah, it'll be
let's dive in.
Let's go.
Just ruin everything.
All right, now I'm joined here in the booth here with Candyheart for round 2 on the Radical Fabulatorium.
60% of Candyheart.
60% of Candyheart. AJ, Goose, and Mike.
Hey.
What's up, dudes?
What's up?
Who wants to say hi first?
Beautiful day out there.
It's nice, right? But like this is going to air on something.
Clearly air on a rainy day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The magic of studio. That's okay. I can give away the secret that it's Thursday afternoon. I thought it was Friday, but it's Thursday.
Yeah.
So yeah, know what day is this anymore?
It's Thursday. Yeah. So yeah, thanks a lot for coming in. I kind of got the sneak peek of the record, so I've been listening to it the last couple of days.
Oh wow,
the new record. Yeah.
Thank you.
So maybe we can just start right
I should mention there is a glitch on one of the songs I forgot to warn you about.
Okay.
And hopefully you didn't notice because we are in the we're really up against the wall on getting this thing out in time, and our last obstacle is getting this tiny little glitch, a technical glitch.
What do you mean, like
There's a little pop on one of the songs. You can hear it's a glitch in the audio.
Like somebody's got a glitch in their track, and we got a fine tooth comb, and we're looking for it.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
Big shout out to Adam Dincorn, who takes care of us, and he on the recording side.
Yeah.
And his last several days have been trying to figure out this mystery, which Adam loves challenges with audio. And this is a new one for him.
Okay.
So
some little like crossfade glitch or something.
So it's something in the rendering. It's a lot of technical stuff that's probably not very interesting at all.
Yeah.
But it is interesting that we have a record coming out in just over 2 weeks, and we don't actually have it in hand yet. But you've heard it.
Yeah, it's great.
So it is there.
It's there. It exists. I can confirm it.
Yeah.
Is it going to be pressed on the CDs, or is it going to be digital only?
We're definitely doing CDs. The time frame on that might get a little messed up. We were hoping for everything at once, but if I'm being real honest, it could be a digital release on May 10th, and then CDs might come later. But we're still inside the window where we can get everything done at once. We're rushing.
Yeah, that sounds like a familiar story. I've been there, where you're like coming up to a hard deadline. But that's usually when hard deadlines. I'm pro hard deadlines because it kind of gives you like gumption, you know.
Yeah,
makes it happen.
Makes it real.
Yeah. Can we give away the title of the record?
Yeah, sure. As much as you want about the record, give it away. Give it all away.
Go for it. It's the instrumental track, right?
Yeah.
That's the title track?
Yeah.
You'll have to remind me what it is.
It's a Cry for Help.
Cry for Help. Yeah. Cool. And that's a cool track. I kind of like the way it kind of like shows up in the middle. And that'd be like, it feels like it's like the end of the A side if it was on a vinyl record.
That was the plan.
Okay.
And then the song kind of took on a life of its own as we recorded it, and we ended up adding echoes from all of the other songs onto it, and which is why it ends up as the title track, because you can kind of hear the whole record in that 1 minute and 50-second long instrumental.
Cool. It's almost like an overture, but in the middle of the record.
That's what we're hoping for.
Yeah.
I never got it till a week ago. He sat with me. He goes, "Did you hear that?" I was like, "That's from Is." "Did you hear that? That's from Deeper." And I was like, "Oh," and then it all comes together.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So before we went live, Mike, you were saying like you're an audio guy, and so you worked on the record, right?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Okay.
Mike's very new.
I'm very new, like 5 weeks new. Yeah.
5 weeks new. Okay.
I mean,
5 weeks new. So okay.
There is this story underneath of this that we can't get too into details about, but we completely overhauled the lineup like 5-6 weeks ago, 5 or 6 weeks before the biggest things we've ever done. And, we were a 4-piece. Now we're a 5-piece.
Cool.
With an adjustment in the middle. So we have a new bass player, and we have Mike on guitar.
Cool.
Mike is replacing me on guitar.
Okay. So you're just frontman now.
I'm just frontman now.
Okay.
We'll see how long before somebody comes along and takes that gig. But,
I'm trying.
Yeah.
Classic new guy move.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Bump them out. I don't have the same voice, so I'll never get that.
Yeah, that sounds great. The vocals. I really like the falsetto, actually. Speaking about voice, I like the falsetto on the record quite a bit. I'm a big pro falsetto.
Yeah, I've been using that a lot more lately. I've been kind of unaware that falsetto was a thing that I don't know. I guess I've been singing in that voice since I was a kid. Mm-hmm. So when I hear other people wonder how, you know, where that falsetto is coming from, I just assume everybody has it. Mm-hmm. And, but yeah, because I actually avoided it for the longest time, and now I'm leaning into it a lot more.
It's, I mean, I'm sure you could overdo it if someone like only sang in falsetto, but I think on the new record, the way it's kind of like
tasty, yeah.
Tim or something, you know?
Yeah, Tiny Tim.
Yeah.
Toe through the tulips.
Like part of it's sort of trying to show the seams, if I'm being honest. The vocally, you're trying to show, you know, like I'll do some falsetto on a note that, look, I'm not going to get there in a chest voice, and you'd want to sound as limitless as you can. But, you know, this record's sort of all about showing the seams on everything. And I would say that does come over vocally, where I'm really trying to lean into the lighter touch on the falsetto.
There's one song in particular, it's like in the later half of the record, where it like starts out with this cool guitar riff, but then like it's not a falsetto vocal, but it's like this different higher vocal that sounds like you are stretching for it. I don't know if you know what song I'm talking about, but
Probably is. Is it a heavier, like a guitar rock
The guitar
song?
goes with the vocal?
Yeah, but I think it kind of, but is that the one that starts with like the, I don't know if it's a clean riff or whatever you want to call it, but like an indie rock kind of riff?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yep.
Could be.
That's what sung me.
There is a falsetto. It's like it would be the 7th song on the record. It's the one right after Cry for Help.
Yeah, that sounds right. That's probably what I'm thinking of, where it just sounded like the vocal just had just this one section had this different tone to it.
Yeah, and that's probably the one that's probably the one where I'm talking about, like showing the seams. Like it's a bit of a heavier song, and I really wanted this kind of clean falsetto in there because I've never heard anybody do that on a song like that. So I just decided to go for it, and whatever's there, we kept.
Cool. So. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, it feels nice. I'm pro feeling when it's, you know, you're listening to music. Like,
yeah, that's cool. All it is.
Maybe we can go back to the lineup changes because I never really followed up on that. So like Mike's super brand new.
Yeah, Mike's probably the most well-known guy in the band at this point, because Mike's been playing with Southern Comfort, who are, I would say, the most successful cover band in town over the last decade at least. And I don't know, Mike can speak to it, but I feel like he wanted to jump into something original at some point, and so, you know, we're lucky enough that he liked the project.
Cool. Are you on the record at all, Mike? Or are you
No, I'm not. Like I said, I'm super new.
Yeah.
The songs were all out, but the former bass player was on my Facebook. We were friends, and the ad came out to looking for a rhythm guitar player. So I kind of just jumped. I never gave anything more than Sick a look because it was on the internet for everybody to see, right? And then I thought, okay, that's a cool song. And then I seen the ad come out for the guitar player, and I thought, I wonder what else they got under the hood. So I flipped on Is, and then right then I was like, message, we got to go. And I was like I said, I was hooked on that riff, and the rest of the album just fell into place naturally after that. They all sounded great, and who doesn't like a drop D album, right? So
yeah, that's sweet.
But and then of course, unfortunately, the bass player had to go, and now I brought in the new bass player, Sam, which is not here today.
Yeah, Sam's not here today.
Okay. But AJ, you've been on the drum since the beginning? Guitar, sorry. Why did I think drums? But
that's Lauren.
I am a percussionist. I'm a multi-instrumentalist, but my guitar has been, guitar's been my main gig since I was a little kid. Yeah.
Okay, very cool. So you could potentially have 3 guitars if you picked up the guitar again.
And we might on certain songs, but in general, I actually enjoy things more when I'm not.
When you're not.
The guitar.
Our acoustic sessions will be thick when we're all on board.
Well, yeah, that's what I was just thinking. You could bring out the acoustic. There's again on the later half of the record. There's a tune that sounds like, kind of sounds like a '90s kind of like. I don't really know how to describe it exactly, but it jumps out for sure, and it feels like the kind of song that you'd come out with an acoustic while everyone else is full band.
Beaver?
No, it's probably Void.
Yeah, Void.
Yeah, it's probably the one that's got a bunch of different parts in there.
It's cool, whatever it was. Yeah, Deeper. That tune that's been out for a while, right?
Yeah, a lot of the record we released as singles beforehand. I would say roughly half, and we held about half back. We wanted the record out originally last summer, toward the end of summer, and just the way things go. Here we are, May 10th, with the hard deadline.
Yeah.
And now it's been advertised. And if it wasn't, we might honestly not have made the deadline. But
that's why hard deadlines exist.
That's why I like them.
Yeah. Forces you to get it done.
Yeah.
Whether it's like absolutely perfect or not, but whatever, perfect's like annoying anyway.
Yeah, there's nothing perfect about this. We hate to, break that to you people out there listening. We encourage you to listen for the flaws, listen to how bad it is. Try it. Just try it. Stream numbers count all the same.
Yeah, exactly. Listen over and over again.
No, it's good. I like the production's really solid on too. Maybe we should talk about that a little bit.
That's Adam Dincorn.
Yeah.
Adam is phenomenal.
He's the man.
He really is. He helped us on our EP a lot. Adam's become a bigger and bigger part of the creative process as we've gone. And I've just developed sort of almost like just a language with him. Like he understands what I want when I don't really know what I want.
Okay.
And I'm trying to voice it. Like, it's hard to tell somebody what sounds you're looking for.
Okay. Oh yeah.
But Adam's been great at doing that. And, over time, translating me, figuring out what I want, getting it done, and then making it better afterward.
Okay. So does he act as like a producer?
More and more, I would say at this point, definitely. Okay. Like I do see it as almost like a partnership.
Absolutely. He's a musical genius. Like he's legit. Like he's top shelf.
He's basically the sixth member of the band.
Yeah, I would say that.
You never see, right?
Okay, he's like the Rick Rubin of the crew.
Yeah, and mainly he's my interpreter. I will say that because I don't know that much about how to explain.
Who speaks gibberish?
Yeah, I speak gibberish.
Adam makes it happen.
And Mike is actually the second person who's been able to translate what I'm saying.
Okay. So that's a good skill for a new guy.
Oh, I should shout out Lauren on that one too, because Lauren can do that on drums, and that's how we've sort of developed our chemistry. That I will ask him for something, and he'll just keep trying it until it works. And
okay, cool. That's great in a drummer.
Yeah.
So AJ, do you get like the riffs and songs from Goose and then do your thing, or are you guys more collaborative?
It's a collaboration, but for the most part, like I bring a lot of the, I'll be put on the spot. Like Goose will say, AJ, come up with a riff, and for example, is within that afternoon, he's just 1 second, he goes, AJ, come up with a riff, and I turned around and I came up with that riff on the spot, on the fly. And within about 2 days, we had a complete song.
Cool.
It seemed like that anyway, but yeah, it's...
the lyrics were not done in 2 days, just in case. There's a lot of gibberish on my end for at least a month. I think the first time we played that song live, I just barely knew it. I probably sang some gibberish that night, to be honest.
Yeah.
I have done that live.
That's cool, though. The spontaneous riffs are usually like... I call them gift songs sometimes. Like the song comes together really quick, and you're like, "Where the hell did that come from?"
Yeah, that one came up on the spot for sure.
Yeah,
there were there's different stories behind all of them. Deeper was me walking around the West Side at dipping in and out of a Panic Room show.
Okay,
and it is just kind of going through my head, and then I found it on guitar later.
You had the melody first, and then you found the chords to build it up, basically?
Yeah, I pretty much knew how I wanted to sound. There were a couple like that. They all have kind of different beginnings. I have to give credit to Jason, the former bass player, because he contributed a lot to several songs, and there were a few that were built around those bass lines. Mainly the heavier stuff. Not always, but they came in all different ways.
Okay. One of the tunes kind of starts off with like a ripping bass riff, doesn't it? Or is that just like a guitar that sounds like a bass? Like it's like kind of shreddy. Yeah,
that's Sam. Okay. That's our new bass player who is on, I believe, 4, maybe 5 tracks.
Okay.
And that's
pretty killer.
Getting towards the end of the record.
Yeah.
And Sam, we should actually take a moment to shout Sam out. Sam's kind of like this hidden treasure in St. John. I've been coming to find out. It seems like all of the musicians, like the real musicians, know exactly who he is, and he's just been kind of waiting for a project for a long time, I guess.
He's been a friend of mine 25 years, and he's a rock guy playing in a country cover band every weekend.
Okay.
So it wasn't very much to twist his arm to get into this, because as soon as he heard it, he screamed Judas to the high heavens, and then he was right over with us playing.
What's funny is that anybody who knows Sam's like, oh, I can picture him saying that.
That's cool. So are you same cover band that you were in, or you?
No, he's in a different one. He's in another band called Sidekick. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I always thought it was interesting that there's like the cover band scene and then the original band scene. I don't know if that's the right way to say that.
Yeah,
but
no,
like,
it's fine.
I talk about that with some folks, that it's like two different worlds.
It really is, and we've come to learn that with opening for the tribute bands, and we have to. We always have to be mindful. Like this is kind of a different thing that we're doing. We're pushing a different product, and how to mix those worlds. But we've been doing it. We have a show.
The big release show.
Yeah,
right?
the release show with the Peppers of Funk, or our Red Hot Chili Peppers tribute band, and we should fit reasonably well with them. We're debuting an album on that same night on May 10th at the St. John Trade and Convention Center. That's me getting better at plugs as I go.
With Creative Power Entertainment.
Yes, Creative Power Entertainment. That is Steve Gaddet's company who's putting on the show, and he's been working with us and just kind of giving us bigger stages to play on.
Yeah. That's cool, because I bet that's going to be a good show, and like that'll bring in a different crowd than you would get like at a bar gig,
right?
In a full original.
That's what we're looking for. Yeah. We're looking just to expose the music to as many people as we can. Yeah, and not everybody's going to like it, but we hope to walk away with a few people every time.
Yep. Yeah, that's sick. Chili Peppers is actually like my favorite band. It's the only tattoo I got is their little asterisk symbol.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was thinking about going to the show. I probably should now.
You have to now.
Yeah, I have to now.
Yeah, we'll be looking for you.
We can probably get you in.
I got a 4-month-old at home, so I don't know. I'm like running on really low sleep now. Yeah, that's my excuse. But I should go. I got
no excuse. I just don't go to anything. And I shouldn't say that out loud, I guess. We talked last time about, we spent a lot of time talking about addiction issues and stuff.
Yeah.
So I gotta be kind of careful with bar scenes, and I really can't go there if there's not some serious purpose to be there. I'm just careful with it.
Yeah, slippery slope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that. It's an issue for me too. So
yeah, I know there's a lot of value in being the band that would come in here and talk about our crazy antics. We could tell a lot of stories. We'd make a much better podcast radio interview. But unfortunately, I really want to be that boring band that just makes good songs once in a while.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, that's my goal. So.
Yeah, it's kind of all about the music anyway. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, screw the partying and stuff. Mm-hmm. Can we talk about your other show that's coming up? Are we allowed to announce?
Yeah, we can talk about that. May 17th, we're opening for the Trues at Container Village.
That's going to be wicked.
We hope so.
Yeah.
It's the 506 grand opener of the year.
Yeah,
it's their first one, right? For the summer?
It's the opener, yeah.
Yeah.
Which was what made this whole thing pretty daunting. Like we had we majorly overhauled the lineup, with 5-6 weeks until that show. We're getting ready. Mm-hmm. We feel like we're on a good path. We feel like we're pretty much there. Like I'll be real honest. I don't think we could play that show tomorrow, but I think we can play that show 5 or 6 days from now. We're close.
Cool. But you guys rehearse a lot?
Yeah, we're playing tonight, and we're getting 2 new guys familiar with the material.
We just learned the song. We just literally finished learning the songs, and Sam got thrown in to record 4 of them.
Yeah, like you heard this album maybe 2 weeks after they did.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah. So that's awesome. I think it sounds good. I really like. I like the product. Like I don't know. There's like a nice blend of everything. Like the reverb on the snare is nice. The drum sounds are nice.
Yeah. Again, all the credit in the world to Adam Dincorn. That's really his forte. He makes us sound good, and he's found a bit of a signature for us over time. I will preach the gospel of Adam.
Yeah, cool. I'm sure. I know you talked about him before, Adam Dincorn, but I didn't really look up any other records he's been on. I really should pay more attention to what he's up to.
He's done some of the bigger records from St. John.
Yeah,
I know he's got a one ECMA nomination with.
Cool.
You can edit this out if it's not correct. I believe it was with Poets and Liars.
Oh yeah,
I'm not sure.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. No, I am wrong. It was Lion Salt.
Lion Salt. Oh yeah, I remember them. Are they still around? Lion Salt?
I couldn't tell you. I think that might be Courtney's band, which I believe I said last time on air. You should probably edit a lot of this out and check my facts, or I'll check them.
It's okay. People make mistakes.
Yeah.
And I'm the one who asked about it, so I should know. Poets and Liars, they're playing Area 506 this year, right?
Yep.
Who's that?
Poets and Liars?
Poets and Liars.
Yeah.
Yeah,
actually,
that's cool. So speaking of the ECMAs, are you guys going to submit this one for the next round of ECMAs?
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it's not in Newfoundland.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's expensive to get over there.
Yeah, because I mean, if we'd submitted anything for the last ones, that we would have been a little bit handcuffed to go into Newfoundland at a point where we probably weren't really capable of it.
Yeah, it's a big investment.
Yeah, I don't even know where they're going to be this coming year. But.
Well, yeah, they're in St. John's this year, like in a couple weeks. Yeah, I don't know where they're going to be. They probably announced it already, but I don't know where it is next year either.
Yeah, they're
cycle through all the provinces or whatever. So
yeah, I've heard it's on I guess I don't really know how much of this works, but I've heard that it's sort of on a cycle that's
yep.
Yeah, and so probably somewhere in New Brunswick next time.
Yeah, I don't know if they have a set order, but I know they bounce around. I can't remember. I remember it was in St. John like 10 years ago.
That, yeah.
That was
anywhere but Newfoundland. We're okay with making the trip to Newfoundland. You better buy some CDs and we'll get over there.
yeah.
That's the only place I want to go. I've never been to Newfoundland.
Oh, it's nice.
I would love to go, but I need to be using CD money to get there.
If you take the ferry instead, flying of course is easier, but the ferry and drive to the ferry and then drive across the province, it's it's an incredible journey, and the ferry's kind of fun.
Yeah, I would love to do it. If anybody out there is in Newfoundland, just let me know the easiest and mainly cheapest way to do that.
Supposedly they get good. You can have good gigs over there too, so maybe you'd make enough to.
Heard that, yeah.
It's fun. It's fun the voyage. Do you guys play outside of the city much? Like, do you have plans to hit the road or anything?
Oh yeah, we have one coming in Charlottetown on July 4th.
Cool.
And we've played several things before outside of the city. Played Charlottetown once before Mike came on board. Dartmouth, Fredericton. Looking to get into Moncton shortly. Mm-hmm. So we're going to try to have a busy summer.
Yeah, Moncton's like pretty. What the Zeros? I think it's called.
Yeah, I played there with a former band.
Oh yeah,
a couple of times. Yeah.
The Music MB week is coming up too. That's always in Moncton.
Yeah, it's October.
Yeah. Usually in October.
You had a nomination last year for that.
Oh yeah, you did, eh? Cool.
A couple actually.
Sweet.
Yeah,
that's usually a good time. The first time I was there actually was last year. So
I was there a couple of years ago, or maybe 3 years ago, with another band.
Okay.
Yeah, we played that night. Yeah, we were our video got nominated, I believe, this past year, and so a shout out to Ian Esty for making that for us.
Cool. It's a fun video.
Yeah, that's what we talked about. That.
Yeah, sick. Yeah. Do you have video plans for this record, or do you have like singles you're going to make videos for?
Well, yeah, the plan up until now was to focus on getting the record made, and then once it was made, turn our attention almost entirely to video.
Yeah.
So that's about to start, and you can sort of start to see the echoes of that happening now.
Okay. Yeah. So do you plan, like, how many videos will you be planning to make?
If it's up to me, it's as many as possible.
Yeah,
I have a few
one for every track.
Plans, but I'd do more than one for every track if I can find the time and the money.
Yeah.
I realize video representation is a big, part of people actually listening to the song. Mm-hmm. So we're hoping to get some on the go. We have a few plans. We have several plans. It's again, time and money. But once recording is out of the way, now that recording's out of the way, and now that getting new members initiated, next step is turning our attention to video.
Cool. Okay. I had a question. Just like, give me a second. Oh yes. Okay. So thinking more about videos, like maybe we can explain the process of making a music video to anyone who's never really been involved in that.
Mike's actually probably made more videos than any of us. Our experience with Ian was we gave him a premise and a basic outline. We got the shots we needed, and then he edited it. Mm-hmm. Asked us what we thought. We made some suggestions. He did it again, and that's what's out there. And I was happy with that video because it just looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
The song was.
But like when you're on set, are they playing? They're blasting the music at you, so you guys are.
Oh yeah, you're so sick of the song. Yeah. The song was called "Sick," and we were all like, "Just get this thing away from us."
How many run-throughs would you have to do?
God, that took a long time. That video. I mean, it's all relative. A long time for a St. John band shooting a video. I assume because it's probably 6 or 8 hours.
Yeah, we were at least 8 hours, 6 or 8 hours.
6 or 8. I mean, counting the
a full day.
Counting the preparation, it would be longer than that. But by the time everybody showed up, I would say 6 hours of shooting.
Okay.
Mike's done a lot of videos with Southern Comfort and edited them, so he's actually the more experienced guy. All I know is telling a guy what edits I want.
Yeah, you do actual editing, Mike?
Yeah, I got a studio at home, and I had my own video suite and my own recording suite, so it's fun. I play with green screens and all the good stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
So well, maybe you can give a little bit of just some insider baseball info.
Shoot,
So you're editing. Would a band give would you have full takes of the song and then you're just picking and choosing which moments you want to flow together? Or?
Break it down easy for you. If we were going to do a band video, I would have whatever setting. Say the band wanted to be in a garage, we would put the whole band and we would lip sync a couple times to that song in the garage video, and then I would take each individual member and I would shoot a couple different spots in the studio room, wherever we are, of each individual member, and then that way you can piece in for all your mistakes and everything like that, and throws it all together that way.
Okay. And I mean, obviously you got to be performing to the song to make sure everything syncs up. The different takes all sync up.
Yep. Okay. You usually, in preparation of making a music video, you better take the song home and know your parts, know the words, know your guitar solo, know your bass part, because the video is going to zoom in on you at some point, so you better remember exactly what you did to the whole song.
Yeah, okay.
That's the tricky part.
Okay. Yeah, especially if you're kind of improv in a solo.
If you're lucky, when they go into the recording studio to record a song, you video them making the song, and then it comes out a lot easier on the end. That usually doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Did not happen with us.
Yeah.
It's hard to think about video when you're just trying to do the music.
It is, yeah.
So that's cool. And then, I could get a little nerdy because I would thinking about rendering and stuff like that.
That's where our issue is right now, rendering. That's the blip that we're having with One's Last Song.
Okay. Because with social media now too, right? There's so many different formats or ratio, aspect ratios. Is it a whole other ball game, a whole piece of the puzzle that most people aren't even thinking about?
Well, it's funny because we have the photographer over here following us around. She also happens to be my wife.
Her name is Mel. She is the singer of Southern Comfort.
Hey, Mel.
So big plug to Southern Comfort. Go see them live whenever you get the chance.
But she's pro TikTok, and I say that means up and down.
Vertical, yeah.
And I'm old school movies, so I like sideways. So we have a conflict there all the time, and most of the time she'll have 2 cameras because she wants to do it her way and I want to do it my way. So because I don't know, I hate looking at a screen with the 2 black bars on the outside. They got to be this way. It's just OCD, I guess. It's cinematic, yeah.
I can relate. I understand the struggle here between the vertical and the the horizontal.
But I mean, again, it's all the opinion because I did a video there not too long ago of us, and then I took the video and let him add it, and his take on the video is not even near the same as mine. And
make it as rough as possible.
Yeah.
That way you're setting the expectations low.
Yeah. If it was a sheet of paper, I like mine ironed out, and he takes his and crumples it up and then unfolds it and says, "Look at all these lines."
Gotcha. Okay. I can see where this is going. Okay, what about you, AJ? How do you feel about all this?
Well,
are you pro TikTok or are you pro?
Honestly, I really like. It's about being with the times.
Stick
with the times, and I think we'll advance. And for me, if it's not being presented or it's not being seen, it's not being seen.
Yeah. What's the point, right?
What's the point exactly?
Just for the record, I've been quoted many times. I've said this many times. I believe social media is the actual biblical devil, and I avoid it at all costs. One of the things that Mel has helped us with most is making it so that I'm not dealing with any social media. I want to be absolutely free of it. The music still gets there. I don't have to deal with it. I'm very happy about that.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of on that same page where I think social media is pretty not healthy at all, but at the same time, it's so ingrained in a lot of artistic careers.
I mean, it's the way most artistic careers are beginning now, the majority. And but it actually is. I don't think there's any way to argue that it's healthy. It's definitely unhealthy.
Yeah.
It's just, I believe people in general, I believe we drastically overestimate our ability to moderate anything. So if you give us other people's opinions at our fingertips at any time, we overdose on that and, you know, begin to mutate.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it messes with your brain in the same way that we're kind of wired to pay more attention to threats, you know? So the negative information, like doom scrolling, I guess you'd call it, right?
Yeah.
Outrage.
Yeah.
Yes.
It really is we're going to pay more attention to things that give us outrage. So, I mean, these days you're seeing, I find lately you're seeing even an uptick in titles on videos that have nothing to do with the video just because they're trying to make you angry or it's whatever they can get away with, you know?
To make people click it. And then sometimes like the interviewer will say that, like, the content will be great. It'll be a nice, interesting conversation. And they'll say like, the thumbnail and the title's like so ridiculous just because we have to do that because the algorithm won't show it to people if we don't do that.
Yeah. And
I find that weird.
Yeah, I do think that there is the word mutation might be a little strong, but you know, over time, your brain is going to develop pathways around these things.
Yeah. Well, there is some evidence and science, I'm pretty sure, that points to like the reaction from social media is the same, like kind of like an opiate reaction, the same way you get like that.
That's dopamine.
That dopamine
it's
kick.
Just straight.
So imagine getting that as like a 12 or 13-year-old.
That's always the worry because there was a book that came out recently that talked about how this was happening to, you know, teenagers right now. But the strange thing is they're actually aware that this is not normal and that it's happening to them.
Okay.
They're more aware than we give them credit for. They're not seeing this as, you know, just the way that people live.
Well, some of them may have been like, I can imagine being like, say you're like 12 to 15 or something and you watched your parents go through it. Like maybe your parents got on Instagram and like over like 5 years, you watched them change into kind of like a different person without them even noticing. That probably happens to teens. Like I could understand a teen looking at them being like, I don't want anything to do with this social media stuff.
Yeah. And they probably, you know, if you have 3 or 4 days where the power goes out or something, or you lose your phone.
Yeah.
You notice the difference. You absolutely notice the difference in the way you're thinking and the way you're able to focus.
Yeah.
You know, I've tried to force myself into that mode a few times. You know, when I'm writing songs, I try to force myself into
unplug
that mode. Yeah,
disconnect.
Because those distractions are too much. And
to me, it's like a story. I love watching people's story unfold
on social media.
Yes, I don't even have social media, but I read hers just like just to see. And then she's like, "Well, why don't we just block that person?" And I say, "No, I can't finish the story if I don't see what's going on. Keep them." Like I don't know. It's not that I'm up for anybody's demise. Sometimes they turn out good, sometimes they turn out bad. But I mean, it's always a story, right?
Yeah,
I'm up for blocking and demise.
Block.
We're always on two different pages.
If I'm not blocking, give me the demise.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you got good self-control, Mike, maybe.
I do, yeah. Not much fizzes me other than bills.
The bills.
Yeah, the bills.
Like Buffalo Bills, or you mean paying the bills?
No, paying the bills,
Okay.
Keeping myself above water.
That's a good thing. I mean, that's a good way to get outraged, but okay, so think about social media some more. So like, how do you like thread the needle then between using it to your creative advantage, but not getting lost in the...
We're still working on that. Mainly that's Mel right now. She's handling it, and, you know...
Outsourcing, it's the secret.
Yeah, outsourcing is the secret. If you... I mean, unless you believe it is healthy for you, then do what you want. But I know it wouldn't be for me if I ever let myself get into it. I think I'm the only guy that never really signed up for Facebook. Like ever. I have a Messenger account under my fake
alias.
Which I've never logged into. So my actual thing is not, it was never made, and I don't know, I've just never really seen the appeal of it, and maybe now I'm just stuck to that because I've invested in it, in the idea that I'm not going to get one.
Well, I don't know. I have social media, so I'm hypocritical, but I would say it's probably a good idea to stay with. Well, I don't know.
I mean, we're all hypocrites.
It's all again personal. It depends on how well everybody individually can handle it.
Yeah. And maybe I don't have an account, but I've become, especially with the music scene, more and more aware of what people are doing, which is the whole I don't want to know what everybody's doing. I definitely don't want everybody knowing what I'm doing.
Yeah, but at the same time, you can discover so much great music and art from from it all too.
And it's the only way to discover now, and it has even the playing field. It's
that's right. It has even the playing field.
Right. It's removed. It's really removed a lot of the gatekeepers that were there once upon a time who would tell you what's cool now. You know, and now people are just listening to whatever they want. If you're 15 and you find AC/DC for the first time and you have no reference point, it could have been made at any time at this point. It's all remastered, and a lot of new music is coming out to sound like it was recorded in 1977 anyway. So, I see Nirvana t-shirts everywhere right now.
The world recycles.
Yeah.
Yeah, they seem to latch on to it. And it is an easier way to discover local music too. I remember coming up in the first playing music, learning to play guitar like when I was 15 or 16, and I just assumed there were no bands around here. Like I just assumed like the bands you saw in Much Music were in Toronto and Montreal, and I didn't understand that there was like local bands. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people don't get to see. Yeah, I see a lot of people that are amazing musicians, and I'm like, how are you not out playing in bars or in a band or anything? And they just like playing at home, self-entertainment. Some people I've been into houses where they have more guitars in the music store, and it's like, I just like collecting them.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Teach their own, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all.
Some people just might not even know that there is the opportunity to like play.
To get into the scene,
Yeah. What about you, AJ? Let's go maybe to how you started playing guitar.
Well, I have...
Or music in general. You said you're a multi-instrumentalist, right?
Yep. I have basically grew up with a musical family. My mom's a singer. My dad was a fiddle player. And like all my aunts and uncles all played guitar and sang songs and stuff. And I was about 4 years old when I started.
Wow, yeah. So it's in your DNA.
Picking and grinning, yeah. And,
picking and grinning?
Picking and grinning.
What does that mean?
Well, you're
picking guitar?
Grinning,
okay. I like that.
That's from my heart. That's an old country term. I'm a country
Picking and grinning. Okay, yeah. So you be picking and grinning while your family's fiddling?
Exactly.
Yeah, cool.
There you go.
Singing old school Ricky Skaggs songs and, Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
George Jones and all that stuff, growing up to that stuff. And, introduced to classical music, which I really adore, when I was a teenager. Started with that. I didn't start with that. I mean, I just got right into it.
Okay.
And
we're talking like Bach and Beethoven and stuff?
All the good stuff. And then it was just like an introduction to heavy metal, basically.
Yeah.
And, I got into the heavy stuff. Then in my mid 20s or so, I got into blues, and I really like that too. So now I incorporate all my sounds in my playing.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a lot of classical influence in my playing.
Cool.
Read between the lines.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm a rock and roller through and through.
Okay. Well, it's interesting how classical and heavy metal. I'm a big I really like Bach's fugues, and I listen to Tchaikovsky quite a bit too. Mm-hmm. It's interesting how that metal is or classical music is like such a pretty good influence on a lot of heavy metal bands.
Slap some distortion on any one of those songs from the 16th century, and you're headbanging
and shredding too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome. And you think of like Dimir Borgir or like those bands that put the symphonic, like crazy heavy black metal, but they've got like symphony music in the background.
Exactly. It's fantastic.
It's really cool. Wow, that's neat. So you have quite an eclectic mix, really.
Yep.
Came across it naturally.
Quite naturally, yeah. Got a pretty good ear. I mean, I was showing a few tricks here and there, but it seems to just come out of me naturally, so I just kind of fly by the seat of my pants most of the time,
When you got into classical, did you have to take in the music theory at all, or was it just pure listening?
Well, yeah, I took drum theory for quite a few years.
Cool.
So I read music and stuff like that as a kid, and but I played classical guitar. I bought a 6-string nylon classical.
Oh yeah, cool.
12 or 13, and I played that for a good decade or more. And
cool.
But I was always playing rock and stuff at the same time.
At the same time.
I was really, the classical was more or less to stretch the fingers out, get some good,
Yep.
skills going, and
did you grow your nails out, or did you use picks?
Just on one hand,
Just on
you can see I still have just like a
cool.
inch of a pick there, and nice and clean on my
Segovia style, right?
Yes.
That's cool. You guys should work in some classical guitar on the next record.
Right. There is influences in quite a few of the songs that if you listen well, you'll see where I'll
probably hear it now. That I'll listen to it again and try to pick it out.
No matter what I say, even deeper, you're hearing hammer-ons that are influenced. You can almost tell that they're where they derive from.
Okay. Wow, that's cool. That's really neat. Yeah, Segovia, I remember, like, there's that famous video of him playing, I don't know, he's like in a cathedral or something like that. I remember someone showing it to me on early YouTube, and that was kind of like my first time, like, watching someone play a classical piece like that. And there was a teacher I had in school was like, he was pro nails, and like some other guy he had was like pro pick or something, like on his fingers or whatever.
Yeah, I could never play with those things. They fall right off.
They fall right off, eh?
Oh, yeah.
I imagine the nails are more natural feedback. Yeah. Okay. But if you break a nail, it must be like, shit. What do you do?
You're in trouble.
Well, you file it down and carry on.
That's neat. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think you should open a tune next record with just classic, like totally nylon string. Yeah, call it Picking and Grinning. That would be awesome.
Exactly.
That's cool. What about you, Goose? I know we probably touched on it last time, but
I think I actually, if I remember correctly, you asked me if I had any musical influences in my family, and I believe that I said no, and then felt really guilty about it because my grandfather actually played very well.
Okay.
And we might have talked about it. I can't remember. I know that I did. I didn't think of it in one interview that I did, but yeah, my grandfather played a lot of gospel type of bluegrass guitar.
Yeah.
Better on guitar than I'll ever be, as evidenced by adding a new guitar player to take over for me.
I didn't know my grandfather played guitar. I thought I come from a sports family, so I didn't know that. I didn't think anyone in my family had music in their background.
I had that on the other side.
Yeah. So it's like, but then I found my mom showed me a picture of her dad with a guitar. So I was like, oh, I guess it's in there somewhere. So you never know.
Yeah.
Well, you, Mike, let's get your origin story.
Oh, my mom and dad split up when I was 3, and my dad always played guitar. And every time I went there on the weekends, and he always had that guitar sitting in the corner. Didn't even know what a guitar was when I was 3 years old.
Yeah.
But then a birthday come along, and I got a little plastic guitar, and he put it in a little wooden stand next to him. So I thought I was just as cool as he was.
Cool.
So I figured I better stop carrying it around as a lunch can and start using the guitar inside the case, right? So I've done that before. You take your guitar case to school with a sandwich in it. That's all you got. You're cool, but there's no guitar inside.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Origin stories that start with my mom and dad split up when I was 3 usually go a lot darker.
See, that's where he likes the demise, right? It's a happy ending. It's a happy ending.
I can see the yin and yang here that's going on, you know?
But my dad and I bonded over guitar right away, and an old record player he had in the basement. And literally, just like I'm sitting here with these headphones now, I went to his house on Thursday nights, and he took me home on Sunday night. And I honestly don't know how much time I spent with him. The rest of the time was listening to records and beating on his guitar.
Yeah, okay.
Always.
Cool.
Yeah.
So kind of like ear training, like teach yourself.
Exactly. He taught me the first 3 chords.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget the night in '93, the Montreal Canadiens won the Stanley Cup. I was watching the game, and I was practicing my chords, and when they won the cup, I started changing chords without having to look at the guitar, and I thought, this is the most amazing part of my life. I'll never forget it. Yeah.
Without having to do that, like C to D to D.
Yeah. And I did it like just one right after the other.
Yeah.
All because of a hockey game.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's funny, those little moments. Eh?
It is. It's the things that break you away from starting out, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, there's usually those moments where even if you've been jamming for a while, like you can just feel this, like all of a sudden it's like a notch or something. Like there's like a little notch, that like a little upgrade notch.
You're always backed in the corner longer than your successes, but when the successes come along, you always feel them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Training wheels came off.
Training wheels came off. Yeah. Like that first time, you're just kind of, and you're on your own.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, that's really cool. So the album's coming out May 10th.
Yep.
With the gig with the Peppers of Funk.
If everything goes well, there's still a chance.
There's still a chance. Well,
there's still a chance that it'll
we'll be there for the show.
We'll be there for the show for sure.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Steve, if you're listening.
Yeah, we want to fix that one up.
Yeah. I'll just play the whole album on Sunday, and then it'll be out there.
The album will be out for sure digitally by the time.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
The only question is, will we have physicals available?
Yeah. Well, digital's so prevalent now. So, though I'm pro CD, like I'm still big into CDs, even though
a lot of people still are. A surprising number of people still are.
I'm a hard copy kind of guy. I like having a paper receipt. I like having the tape or the CD. I'm like
being able to touch it. Yeah, something
the experience. Yeah.
And I've noticed like Second Spin, they have more CDs every time I go in there now. More like they're kind of building it back. It's probably becoming retro or something, I guess. But it's like they're still there
for the second time. CDs are the new vinyl.
Like it'd be a dream of mine to have our album on an actual vinyl.
Yeah,
I love that. That
get it pressed. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
it would be something to talk about.
Yeah, that'd be cool. It's doable. I don't know. I think you can do short runs, but this is probably a little pricey.
You can do it now. I like the way they make the records. You can make them Candyheart. You can do whatever you want with them now. You can put ink on them, different colors, swirls, and I love the new vinyls.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, there's a couple labels here too, like Ancient Temple and Monopolized. They do vinyl releases.
Sure do.
Maybe the Red Stripes or the White Stripes guy there will hear us and want to print out our records.
Exactly.
Yeah. Jack, what's the name of his label? I think he owns his own vinyl pressing thing, right? Yeah. Okay.
Jack White. I forget the name of the group now.
I think it's something to do with Detroit.
I know the White Stripes, but the company, he owns the company.
Yeah, I can't remember either. I think he's like a whole studio package.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, yeah, it's doable. Are you going to pitch the record to any labels or just self-release?
I mean, I honestly don't have a whole lot of interest in labels at this level of the game.
Yeah.
I feel like, what's
there.
the label going to offer us basically that we're not doing ourselves? If we're making enough money that a label gets interested, that's a different conversation. Because I don't believe that. I believe labels are mainly interested in the money side. They, at least as far as I could tell. I don't know. I've become anti-label over time. So. But if there are any out there,
but if the labels are chasing you, the music you're making is all right.
Yeah. And I think, there's probably a level divide too between like a local label that's basically just like there to promote you. And
I can see the promotion side. I'm just not, I would need to hear a pitch that explains what they're going to do that we don't do on our own. We do a lot on our own in-house, a lot more now that we've brought Mike on board. Mike and Mel, they've come as a package deal, and it's been incredible because just the amount of work we're getting done now on a daily basis is a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of someone to root for you.
Yeah, and it's just the actual work too. Just going in, editing video, reaching out to places for shows.
It's a lot of work. It makes me think of, do you know Carly Fox? I happen to be wearing her shirt. So her manager, Joe Bedford, I think his last name is, but like he's like a couple times I've run into him, he's just like fully in like talking about how wicked she is. And I'm like, man, this will be such a great kind of manager to have, because he obviously just loves her music and what she does creatively. So it's like just like a cheerleader, but also industry contacts at the same time. So like I think that would probably be the combo you'd really want. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
As an artist.
I don't know. I'm not closed off to the idea. I don't know. I've become so ingrained in the whole DIY concept at this point.
We are the carpenters of our trade, no pun intended. I am a carpenter by trade.
You are a carpenter. Oh, we should talk after I got a job.
Carpentry, building our music, like the way we do it organically, maybe if a label was to step in and they did try to change us or do other things, I mean, Lord knows what tomorrow's going to bring, but we are the carpenters of our act.
Yeah. That's good. Well, yeah, I mean, people do change when you start chasing like success or like that would come back to social media. That's one thing that concerns me is like chasing clicks and likes and stuff. Like you can start to like change your music or your art for the wrong reasons.
So far, we've been really. I mean, I'm a bit of a tyrant on the musical side. And I'm not
musical.
I'm shaking my head. Yes,
tyrant.
A little bit, and I believe.
Now you're talking in like the creative side of things.
Yeah, and I think you have to be. And so, luckily, I've never really had a whole lot of temptation on the, let's do this for the clicks. Let's write this song because these people might like it. That's never really on my mind. I think that I write mainly kind of radio-friendly pop rock songs. And, I mean, there's the odd...
Like me to quote Sam?
there's the odd word in there that might not get on the radio. but
that's hilarious.
But but that actually, it just is the music that I love. So... you know.
Yeah, what's wrong with pop rock? I like pop rock.
That's the thing, as it comes out. Like that.
Makes me think of, was it Silverchair, maybe, the bass player? Someone was asking him about Daniel Johns, the singer, like, basically controlling everything in Silverchair. And the bass player was like, he's got a vision, man, and like, why should I interfere with the vision? I'll just ride it out because I like it. I like the music, and he's got the vision, so why would I try to mess it up just to mess it up?
Commented on Silverchair. I came home to her and I said, these guys are just like Silverchair. Like they got that.
Funny.
They got that.
I'm so not a Silverchair fan.
Yeah, but you got this drive about you, and you're not easily influenced, and you know what you want. You have goals, and you're like on a track, and there's nothing going to derail that train. I got to get where I'm going, and that's what I like about them.
Yeah.
You don't always have to agree, but the train always gets to where we're going. You know.
Yeah, and that's kind of what the point of the Silverchair thing was. Yeah, he's like, but the person with the vision is kind of like, why would I get in the way of it?
Exactly.
You know, when I say it's tongue in cheek when I say the thing about being a tyrant. It's more. I mean, everybody's been being creative in the band, but when I hear something that doesn't work, I'm fairly confident that I'm right about it. And it gets it's easy to be blinded by, you know, oh my God, it's an actual song, but that's kind of the lowest possible standard. Like, you need the song to be a good song. And I really do push until I believe that the songs become a good song. And maybe not everybody agrees with that, with what I think is a good song. But I can go to bed at night thinking like, yeah, that is the way the song should have turned out.
Yeah, that's a good test, the sleep test. Especially because once it's down and out there in the world, it's like permanent. But no, I mean, you can re-record things pretty easily these days. But it's, you know, once it's out there, it's out there.
It's out there.
Yeah. So thinking about Silverchair some more. Have you heard Diorama, AJ? Do you know that record?
I probably have, but it's been a minute probably.
Because that record is like, I don't know where it was received as far as their fans, but like they wrote the whole record, and then they had someone come in and score like an orchestral arrangement for the whole record.
That's cool.
And it's beautiful.
Nice.
Like the song "Tuna in the Brine" is a really good example. Maybe I'll play that during this show. But
You might turn me on to Silverchair.
oh man, check out. I'm not like a lot of bands.
So anti-Silverchair for a long time.
A lot of bands, I just like one or two of their records. I don't really like them per se as like a career band, you know. And Silverchair would be one of those. Like, really, Diorama is like the only record I
was all about. What was all with the frog?
Frog Stomp.
That was my album. That sunk me on grunge and drop D music.
Yeah, that's super grungy. They were like 16 on that record or something.
Yeah, I love that one.
But yeah, you get to Diorama, and it's just like a whole nother ball game. It's just like
dial that up when I get out of here. I want to hear that.
It's
now.
beautiful. Yeah, it's really good. Starts out with like a harpsichord, actually. I'm pretty sure.
If Silverchair wants to offer us a record deal,
work with Dan.
I'll take that.
He just said he didn't like you, but here we go.
I'm just having the image of the disgruntled frontman right now.
You don't have to like them, but you can respect them, right? You know, you can't like all the music.
That whole area, I
love that orchestra.
They paved the way for us.
Yeah, exactly. The grunge stuff. I like that that's coming back. The 90s. Actually, we just got like a free Sirius XM subscription for some reason, because we ordered something from Pizza Hut. They're like, here's a free Sirius XM thing, and like we've just been listening.
Deal.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. We've just been listening, me and my wife, to the 90s on 9.
Nice.
So it's just like an onslaught of 90s.
Yeah, we listen to that all the time.
90s bangers. That's
where
awesome.
It's at.
Yeah, there's a lot of good instrumentation at that era.
Oh yeah,
in the 90s.
I feel like it was an era that kind of cut out all the noise that was going on in the era before it.
The 80s era.
Yeah, it kind of took punk rock and
revamped it.
It took punk rock and glossed it up a little bit, which was also like taking hair metal and taking all the gloss off of it.
Yeah,
and so it's sort of
the next
happy medium between the two.
Neon green and neon pink.
Yeah, the radical colors. Yeah. But like the bands like I Mother Earth, the instrumentation was really well done too. Like the songwriting was really strong. And I mean, it was like peak quality for tape recording, I think, anyway. Like the tape recording.
You mentioned them, our bass player, Sam. He took the job because he says, he sounds like I Mother Earth.
No way.
That's exactly, you're hitting on all the nails tonight. Yeah.
Man, I Mother Earth kick ass. Scenery and Fish.
They are good. Yeah.
Killer record. That's awesome. I'll play some of them too in the music portion of it.
I'm going to have to listen.
Man, Scenery and Fish is like a masterpiece. So underrated.
Mother Earth is listening right now and wants to offer us a record contract.
For a guy that doesn't want a deal, you're all wanting a lot of deals.
Yeah. Their guitar player does have, I'm thinking he owns a studio for sure. Jag, can't remember his name, but him and his brother are both in the band, so. Have to hit him up. Peterborough, Ontario.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool. So, all right. So, I mean, are you already working on new music? Everyone that seems to have an album ready to go, they're always like, yeah, I got a whole nother record ready to go too.
We have like songs in the back pocket, but in general, our focus right now is getting ready for these shows because we did kind of make a bit of a, what's the word I'm looking for? We made a bold move that I wouldn't recommend to anybody. But so, we're playing a bit of catch up to get ready for these shows. So if you want to come out and see a disaster, it might happen. We hope it doesn't.
It won't.
It won't.
It'll be fine.
Minor mistakes that nobody will know the difference.
No one will know the difference. You just don't react to them.
Right. I'm going to tell you that they meant to be there. Like that mistake you thought you just heard? No, that's just my artistic genius.
Do you remember the show Jono-Vision? Does anyone remember that show? They used to do that Battle of the Bands thing. And one of the bands, so this guy's name was Jesse. He ended up playing in some bigger band. Not Cancer Bats, but something else. Anyway, I remember learning that from when I was a teenager. Like they made a mistake and they like reacted to the mistake on the stage and like said something. And then that was one of the critiques they got afterwards on like the rating system. They were like, man, never react to a mistake. No one would have noticed if you just not reacted to it. And I just remember that's just been with me for like 30 years in my brain. Yeah.
There's 5 hardcore guitar players that are going to be at the crowd every show and they'll pick you apart all the time. But the rest of the people are just having a good time.
Yeah. That's cool.
Those 5 hardcore guitar players just don't understand it.
Well, just tell them you're playing atonal. We don't.
I don't give anybody excuses. It was jazz.
Exactly.
Jazz, man.
Exactly.
Threw a jazz chord in there, and then they all go, "Okay, we never learned that anyway."
Yeah.
Your ears just start. If you've streamed the album like 20 times, and then I know you're going to stream it more. Okay, yeah, we made a mistake.
The guy usually
if you don't know, you don't know.
It's the guitar player that's not on stage.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Envy or grin or jealous or all this shit.
Everyone's a critic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cool. Well, man, we've been talking for like an hour almost, eh? Time flies.
Went fast last time too.
Yeah, it does go fast. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to chat about? I'm happy to keep going.
Yeah, whatever you want. I don't know what we could talk about. We do have a cello song on the album.
Yes, actually, I remember hearing that. Starting with, now that you say that, that was supposed to be one. That's what I wanted to ask you about. The cello kicks off that tune.
Yeah.
What's the story there?
I wanted it for a long time. I knew the album was very dark, and I kind of wanted to end it on a song that stripped everything away and brought in a cello. And you can actually hear an echo of that cello on the instrumental song too.
Cool. Who did the cello? Or who
cello was Katie Bestfader. I don't know if I'm actually saying that name right.
Okay. But it's a legit cello because it'd be easy to just like load up a keyboard or whatever, right?
She's great.
Yeah. Okay.
And she came in and recorded for maybe an hour and a half and said, keep whatever you want. And I think we kept everything and just layered it.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm very grateful for her for doing that. And she's phenomenal.
So you wanted that mainly for like the mystique? Like you kind of knew the cello was going to add darkness to it?
I mean, I wanted to sort of strip it away and make sure that I wanted the album to end on a dark note because it felt like the most honest way to do it. And
it gave it extra depth.
Different layer.
Somehow just adding that cello, and I really wanted it to be just a cello and a voice, but it kind of the more we got into it, the more we realized we need a little something for some rhythm and whatnot. There are some necessary evils on that song, but yeah, I'll always be grateful for her for coming in and coming in a couple of days to practice and then coming in to do the song.
Did you kind of direct her, or did you let her do her thing? Or
I would say in the practice, I just directed her on the chords, and then she would ask for an opinion, and I would give it to her. When she recorded the song, she just did it a number of different ways, and was just going to let Adam edit whatever he wanted, and we ended up. I'm pretty sure that everything she did is just in there.
Cool. Just all sounded great.
Yeah, we just put it together like a little orchestra.
Cool.
And that was about it.
That's another thing about Adam. He's amazing. Like if you have a listen to the album, how many times you hear he's singing, but there's 7 other voices in there layering. Like in certain spots, you can hear all the voices of Goose. It's like he's amazing. It's a cool picture if you dig beyond the surface, right?
The funny thing about that is that's probably Like I'm really big on layering vocals because I love, you know, Beach Boys and those big layered vocals. And I always want to throw a harmony on, or at least try one. Adam has to pull me back on that a lot.
Yeah. Layering it too much.
Yeah, layering it too much. Or, you know, Adam's big on, he wants the lead vocal to be the lead vocal and the backing vocal to be the backing vocal a lot of the time. And whereas I want it just to be a complete wash and you can't tell what's the lead and what's the backing vocal.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, it's funny because over time we've sort of met in the middle on how to do that.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I can see that, the wall of sound versus the identifiable pieces or whatever. Makes me think of Pet Sounds. I love that record.
Yeah, Caroline No is on that record, if I'm not mistaken.
It is, yeah.
That's the one that really just kills me for Beach Boys. And
God Only Knows, that's kind of a classic one too. But
yeah. And yeah, just all those layered voices. I've really come to believe that the record and the live performance are kind of two different things, and they're two different products. And so I really have no reservations about doing stuff on record that can't quite be recreated live, as long as it's something that, you know, I'm not doing things on record that I can't do live. But they're, aside from having 7 voices at the same time.
Yeah.
But, you know, everything that's on there is actually played. But it might take 12 musicians to really.
If you want to do the full deal. Yeah. Do you guys record to a click track? Or is it
sometimes yes, sometimes no?
Okay. I would say
most of this album's recorded to a click track. There are probably 2, maybe 3 songs that aren't.
Okay. But once the drums are down, you guys can just do take after take.
Yeah, we do kind of whatever we want, I guess, in that regard. And just a shout out to Lauren, because some of the most amazing things I've ever seen a musician do was Lauren on this record, where the most complex song on the album, which has like 7 different parts, Lauren did that in basically one take without a guide track. So just by memory.
Cool.
And because there's a timing change in it. And so I was trying to be the guide track, and that timing, you know, it goes from a 4/4 to a 3/4, I believe. And that was throwing me off, which was throwing him off. So once he decided to do it, he said, no, just let me go without the guide track. Did the whole song, stopped at one point to ask a question, and then did the rest.
Cool.
It is one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. And the other is his performance on the Shadows, a song near the end of the record. It's just played at a kind of insane tempo. And I believe that was all just went in and hammered it out.
Cool. I like that. And so once the drums are down, do you record over top of them, or is like the bass recorded at the same time? Like, do you do bed tracks or just instrument at a time?
Bass first.
Yeah.
Drums and bass first?
Yeah, normally. I mean, honestly, everything was recorded in a different way.
Yeah.
I don't believe I believe all the drum tracks were recorded separately, and there was just a guide track with them.
Cool.
And then we added after that.
Sweet. Very cool.
And then there were songs on the EP that were done more 2 or 3 people at a time.
Oh, okay.
But, with the LP, if I'm not mistaken, everything was kind of done separately, and we really tried to hone in on exactly what we wanted from each instrument. Sometimes you don't really know. Sometimes you don't really know what you want until you hear what you don't want. So Adam's sending me tracks that we think we finished, and no. No, we have to go back in and change a little thing here or there.
Yeah, that happens. Sometimes they have to marinate or whatever, right? Like the songs have to.
Yeah, because I mean, some of these were fairly new at the time we recorded them.
Yeah.
It's interesting because Shadows is actually one of our oldest songs. It just didn't fit with the EP, and it fit more with this, so we did that. Again, I'll have to credit Jason, our former bass player. He kind of came up with Shadows. We changed it a lot after he left the band, but the actual initial idea came out of a bass riff that he had.
Okay, cool, very cool. All right, yeah, I'll recommend everyone stream it when it comes out, May 10th.
I'll recommend they stream it too.
On repeat?
On repeat.
Where can they go to check out the band? You know, let's do the we were just talking about social media, but let's plug
we're everywhere. The Candyheart, all one word, is the main hiccup that most people run into, is they try to say it in 2 words.
Oh, yes, okay.
This is a mistake we made early on, but I was big on one word.
That's better.
Yeah, it looks better.
It does look better, yeah.
But yeah, we're available everywhere. I believe we're now.
If they just go to what, candyheart.ca?
Actually, candyheart.ca is a new thing that we've just done.
Cool.
And you can, it will link you to any social you want.
Perfect. That's the way to do it. Have it like your own URL or whatever, you know.
Yeah, that's new.
Yes.
This is probably the first time it's been announced, to be honest.
There you go. Candyheart.ca. May 10th, the record comes out digitally, opening for the Peppers of Funk. And then with the Trues on the 17th.
Exactly.
Get your tickets for the Trues. They're already 50% sold out.
Oh, yeah.
I think
Grab them now.
Yeah, I think they're more. They announced 50% sold out quite a while ago.
Okay.
So.
That's going to be a killer show. So.
Yeah.
And our tickets for the Trade and Convention Center show are on sale at TD Station. So if anybody wants to get tickets, that's how you get tickets to go see
TD
that.
Station.
If it's not online.
Yeah, you can get them online too. But
You can find them at our website too.
Yeah. Candyheart.ca.
he's getting used to this. See, we're programming him.
Yeah. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. That was fun, man.
I'm like 5 minutes away from wanting the record label for real.
Have to just start your own label.
Yeah, I'm going to start one for all of
Demise
you.
Records.
Demise Records.
Demise Records. Block Demise.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks a lot, guys. That was really fun.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks. This was cool.
Yeah, we'll do it again sometime too. Awesome. Peace.
Cheers.